Welcome back to the channel, my friend. My name is Sven Emmerich. Welcome to the AI Leverage Lab, where we help you leverage your AI expertise to make more money and make your business and others' businesses more successful. Now, in today's video, I will show you how you build an Telegram nutrition bot so that you can actually take pictures, or you can talk to, or you can type it in the nutritional values, like you type in what you eat per day or what you drink per day, what you consume basically, and what you will be returned is your nutritional values throughout the day so that you can track your nutrition. So let's actually dive in. How does it look like? This is the Telegram bot that we have here. So finally, what you will be able to do is, for example, now in my case, I don't have an omelet here right now, but let's just take an image of the omelet and put that in here, copy, paste it in here. Wait a second, the process here, our macromate is working for a second or two, and a moment later we hopefully have the nutritional values of what we ate here. So it should be something like an omelet with crispy bacon or something, and there we go. It has returned this. We can take a look at the Google Sheet. What did it actually give out and what did it understand? It's a folded yellow egg omelet garnished with crispy bacon pieces, finely chopped green herbs, and so on and so forth. So that is pretty much what it is. And we could also do the following. We could say 2 chocolate chip cookies from Starbucks. So we could do it like this, and it's going to start, and it's going to append this here, and it's going to add the nutritional values here pretty quickly, which if you Google this, let's take chocolate chip cookies from Starbucks, nutritional, what do we have here? Nutritional values. That should be probably pretty spot on, like 370 calories. What do we have? We have 2, so we should have, it's pretty close, little protein, mostly carbs. What do we have here in carbs? Total carbohydrate. For 2, that's we're even on the lower side here, So what do we have? It gave us this back, which is good. And now we could also do the following. Let's see, what could we say? 2 slices of protein bread with a slice of cheese on top and an apple juice. And again, it's gonna parse this. It's gonna go through this, and it's gonna return, hopefully, what it understood. 2 slices of protein bread with a slice of cheese on top and an apple juice, And it returns this, and it gives us the nutritional values here. So as you can see, what we do have is we do have a daily goal. If we go here into our N8N workflow, we have our daily goals. We set these. You can, of course, have your own setup and just basically put in anything, or you have another step in the whole workflow where you can set those values. Now, for my purposes here, I just set these to 2000 and the calorie target, and something along the lines of a similar target that is for the protein and the carbs and the fat, of course. And now let's actually dive in how we did this. We have a Telegram trigger. The Telegram trigger is connected to our newly set up nutrition bot. Now the nutrition bot is actually what I'm communicating with here. If you don't have a nutrition bot yet, now is the time to go get it. So what do we do? What you do is, first of all, you go to your Telegram and look for the BotFather. And now, if you've watched our other videos, we come across the BotFather all the time. That is basically where you set up all your bots. So you search for BotFather in Telegram, and then you go and pick out the one that has the blue check mark here. So I already have that in my chats here, so that's where it is. I click on open, and this is where you can add a new bot to the whole list of bots you might have at some point, okay? And you give it some name that is random, and eventually it needs to have a new name that needs to end with bot. So in our cases here, we call it nutrition bot, and then you got to look for that TME and the name of that bot. yeah, the add symbol and the bot, so that you can actually start a conversation with that bot. Otherwise, it doesn't show up here in the chat. Now I have that open here, and what you gonna get is also that your, let's go to the BotFather here again, is your nutrition bot token. Yeah, and that token is very important, because if you add a, let's go and zoom out here, if you add a Telegram bot here, let's go and see where that is, the triggers, communicate, yeah, on message, that would be this one. Yeah, then you need to tell N8N which one you communicate with. So you set up your new credentials, enter the access token, give it a good name, because you might end up having multiple bots eventually. So give it a good name that you remember by, and then there you go. Yeah, so we click this away. Okay, so you have set up your Telegram bot, and it triggers on a message, and then it has the set node here. The set node is set up to what we just said, the nutritional goals for the day. And then we have an input router, which is basically a switch node. And that switch node, yeah, if we click out here, and again, just click tab, click switch. Yeah, this is a switch node. And that switch node has one input and 3 outputs, and it's set to rules. And the rules are the incoming data from the Telegram trigger, which could either be a text message, it could be a voice message, or it could be an image at this point. Yeah, you could set it to other values, of course, but the output name is voice, image, and text, respectively. And from here, you have those 3 paths. So if it's only text, then you don't have to do a whole lot. You simply have the input from the original Telegram trigger, the text it outputs. So if we go to the executions and we compare those last runs, then in this case here, this was the one where we simply asked for 2 cookies from Starbucks. You know, then it simply got the text from the chat, yeah, text here, and that's what it should work with, and the chat ID that is here. And if it is, let's go to the last one, which was with voice, I think, yeah, then it goes through voice. And in this case, what we're working with is the voice parameter here. So it's working with that, and we have the voice.file ID, and if we would listen to this, then it would give us my beautiful voice again. And then we need to transcribe this. And transcription, for that we use the OpenAI node. The OpenAI node to transcribe the audio, the recording, and the data of the incoming recording is, the name is data. Yeah, so that is what goes in here. Nothing else to set. And then this gets transcribed. So the previous node gives us output the text, and that text needs to go here as 2 fields that are being set. Yeah, so this is a set node. Again, pretty much the same thing as we did over here. So all these nodes with a nice little pen are set nodes. And we set the user message, first of all, and we set the chat ID to those 2 strings. Yeah, so these are set to strings, and they're manually mapped. That is then going to the macronutrients checker in Google Gemini. You could use other tools, but we're using Google Gemini. But first, let's take a look at the lowest option here as looking at the image. Now, the image, same thing again. You have the image information in here. Yeah, the MIME. Oh, wait, is this the right one? No, that's not the right one. This one is the correct one. So here in this case, you have the photo, yeah, and it has a file ID, and that file ID goes in here, and then it can download the image and analyze that with Gemini Vision. Could use other tools like OpenAI, ChatGPT Vision, but in our case here we're using Gemini. Now we have this data file as input, which is a binary, and it's the image. The operation should be analyze the image. The model is Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is appropriate for image and voice image recognition. And for the other here, for example, here we are able to use 2.5 Flash later when we come to the point to analyze the macronutrients. But for now, here we're using 2.5 Pro. Now, can we actually see this? Yeah, we can see it here. But give me 1 second. Oh yeah, that's actually sufficient. Your nutrition vision assistant analyze the food image, provide a detailed meal description of all the food items and eatables in the image. Only start with a meal description, no commentary, no fluff needed. So basically, we need a text version, similarly to the audio to text. Here we have the video to image to text, and then we have that text, and same thing as in the option above, we have that as text and the chat ID. Now, in the next step, we analyze the nutrients, right? So we have the actual analysis of the whole thing. So for that, we can now work with text, no matter where it comes from, because by now all of the information is text. We use the messenger model operation, and here are the prompts. Yeah, so the prompts are, for the first part, pretty similar. Yeah, here's the meal information provided by the user, and it's just the user messaged from before, which is the meal description. And then we have the model role, and the model role is a little more complicated here, but not too much, which is you're a nutritional specialist with comprehensive knowledge of macronutrients and so on and so forth. And important is it needs to have a certain JSON output format. Otherwise, it's not going to work with a Telegram. And this might come in handy that we do have these in our classroom in school.com. So if you like, join our free community. It doesn't cost anything, but you can get the JSON files here if you like and want to experiment with these. And what you need to do is you need to tell N8N, or the workflow here in this case, the model, that we need the description and we need those 4 information, like the calories, protein, the carbs, and fats. And that is basically set to a thinking budget of -0, which turns off the thinking budget, and it allows it to do a lot of reasoning if necessary. And it shouldn't crash or shouldn't give us a superficial information there. Now from that, it goes to the next node, and that's the node where we take the text, the input that we have from the last analysis. So we have the calories, we have the protein, the carbs, the fats, and now we got to put these in the set node here and got to mention that these are the strings that we will need in the future. Or rather, in this case, the numbers, right? So this is the description, which is a type string, and these are numbers because, of course, these are calories, proteins, and just amounts of the different macronutrients. Yeah, and from these, we gotta populate a Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet stores, as we can see here, stores a date, a meal description, and the macronutrients. We simply open a new Google Sheet here and have the ID up here, and you can also give it a name. You give the credentials to N8N. Again, by now, I've said this in previous videos, so we're not going to dive into all the setting up of Google that's described hundreds of times online. And then we append a row in our Google Sheet, so it's a sheet within a document, yeah, because there's the document, there's the sheet, nutrition. This is where it says nutrition. And from here, we map the column mode automatically or manually in this case. Where we say, okay, we got the date, the descriptions, and we just map the different nutrients, the different parameters over here pretty much automatically. Yeah, and the output is what we have here. Now, the important next step is that we got to add the previous meals from the same day, from, in this case, the 6th of November, all together in order to analyze what the daily amount is compared to our goals. Yeah, so we have, again, same thing, same account here, sheet within document, get rows, get all the rows from the nutrition sheet and add them together from today's date, yeah, which is the end combine filter here. And now we have the only part that is tricky, but this is something that if you join our free classroom, you can just get from us, or you can try to get this from ChatGPT. It's all combined, it's all a combination, and a little make bar function so that eventually it looks like we saw before. So these nice little bars that are a visual indicator of how far into my daily goals am I. Should I watch out for something? And then it simply sends this back to the chat ID that we originally started with in the Telegram trigger, where we have the same chat ID down here, right? And that is it. So if you like these kinds of videos, if you enjoyed the process, then think about, or rather don't think about, just come over, join the AI Leverage Lab. That's where we build these processes every day, help you build your own, enjoy the community. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up, give us a subscribe. We'll appreciate it greatly. And let's build more great stuff together. We help you here on the channel and in our AI Leverage Lab over on school.com. We help you build your own AI agency so that you can make money with this, so that you can help others transform their own business with the use of AI, so they leverage their own maybe solopreneur business or their small, medium enterprise up to bigger enterprises to make the most of their brain power and apply that to make more money. So if that's something that you enjoy learning, come over there and let's build together. So thank you for watching, and talk to you soon, and see you again in the next video. Bye.